Morning, everyone. So I wanted to make my own video to go over the testing information that you just got from me or AP. Last night I sat in a hour-long webinar put on by AP, and they literally read the entire 50-page document that I sent to you guys, and I kind of want that hour of my life back. And so what I decided for you guys is I don't want you to have to sit through something like that, and I know it's a lot to read, and it is important to read over, but I want to do the highlights. So this is kind of like my Cliff Notes version of what you need to know for AP. Most of what I'm saying is not just course specific. It is true for any AP test you guys are taking. There's a couple things that are more relevant to calculus that I will touch on, but a lot of these things will help you no matter how many tests you're taking. So I have this document here. I'm going to go through it. I'm also going to post it on Classroom so you can have it. You may want to print it out and maybe jot some things down that I say or just kind of have it close. So the first thing is AP has said that on May 4th, which is Monday, they are going to have a testing demo available. It's going to be very generic. It's not going to be a particular class. It will be available. You'll get an email about it, or you can just go straight to your AP account and log in, and it will be there. You can go through it as many times as you want. You can use different devices. The biggest thing is to make sure the device you plan on using works. If it works on the demo, it'll work on test day, and that you're used to the format and just what it's going to look like. I'm going to actually go through myself and kind of demo my own process just so I can see any bugs that might need to be worked out. But that will be available starting Monday. With email, there's been tons of issues. AP is sending emails and people aren't getting them or people aren't checking them. I think school email accounts tend to bounce a lot of things back. So what you need to do is first go into your AP account and double check that your email is actually there and correct. You may want to consider a personal email as opposed to school. You might be more likely to get it. But also, don't worry if you're not getting emails. You can go to your AP account and all the information will be there. You just have to go there instead of waiting for an email to come. The biggest thing that's going to come in your email, in addition to the testing demo information, is something called your e-ticket. You're going to get a different e-ticket for every test you're taking. It's going to come 2 days before the actual test. So you'll get mine on May 10th, and however many tests you're taking, you'll get those. It is unique to you. It is going to have your an e-ticket number on it that you're going to need. So you want to make sure you have that and keep that close. You can even print it out so you have it next to you for the test and put it with that test information. Our test is May 12th. It is a Tuesday. It's at 2 p.m. They are recommending that students are in 30 minutes prior, so 1:30. Everybody in the world is taking the calculus test at the exact same time. What could possibly go wrong? And you do need to be there ahead of time with your AP ID number, your e-ticket number, and your basic contact information. You're going to have to enter those numbers, and then there's some security questions you have to go through, and then you will just be waiting until the test opens up at 2. If for any reason you don't end up testing in May, whatever the case may be, essentially they will just produce a new ticket for you for the June test. It is June 1st at 4 p.m. You'll still need your May ticket number to then access that June number, but that will be automatic. You don't have to apply for it. For your device, you can use any device. It cannot run on Internet Explorer. That's considered an old platform. If you have the Grammarly plugin on a device that you're using, you will have to take it off. They said their system is incompatible with it and it'll cause a problem. Obviously, we don't really deal with that with calculus. For calc, you may want to do everything on a smartphone or a device that you can actually take pictures. Here's why. So you have options with typing. You can type and copy and paste. You can type and upload, which I think are great things for like AP Lit, for history, government, whatever. For calculus, you need to handwrite it. Nobody wants to type symbols. There is a keyboard shortcut key that you can access if you want to figure out how to do derivatives and integrals. I would 100% say don't do that for calculus. When you're handwriting, though, when you're done, you have to take pictures of the pages, one page at a time, and upload it to the site. So the challenge is if you're doing it on your Chromebook and then you're taking pictures on your phone, you're going to have time to take pictures on your phone, email it to your Gmail, save it on your Chromebook, and then upload it. If you practice that enough, it goes pretty quickly, but you want to make sure that you're comfortable with that. Mr. Princhek and I were talking last night during this webinar and said that might be something you want to practice. He was thinking about making a video about it. If you don't want to do that and you just want to do everything on your phone, what you can do is you will have to be scrolling. That's the kind of the pain, is that you'll have the question on your phone, kind of scroll through, do your work, but then you can use that device to immediately take pictures and upload, and it skips a few steps. So it's kind of your comfort level. It may be something worth practicing on that demo. Are you comfortable taking pictures and sending them to yourself, or would you rather just take pictures right on the device you're using? If you have some sort of bigger tablet that has a photo capability, a camera capability, you may want to use that. If you have any technical difficulty on the day of the test, something happens in the middle, it crashes, you can't get back in, you can request a June makeup within 20 or 48 hours of the test. There's a website, and as soon as the test is over, I will send that out, where you click on it, you explain what the technical difficulty was. They'll review it and let you know if they accept it. They said really they're going to accept just about everything other than you ran out of time. If you ran out of time, that's on you. You will need your May ticket number in order to get then that June ticket result. When you're testing, they recommended never hitting refresh. Don't hit the back arrow. If it does shut down in the middle of the test and you can click back on your ticket entry, you can get right back in with no problem. If there's a big delay, then you can request a new test. On test day, the things that you need, you're going to need all your contact information, which is your AP ID, that e-ticket, you want to have that close by. Make sure your tech is ready. So whatever you decided you want to use, if you want to use multiple things, make sure they're charged. Make sure anybody else in your home where you're testing has limited the streaming. So Netflix, video games, whatever, just tell them, hey, from 2 to 3, I need you off that stuff so that you're getting the fastest streaming possible. If you are using a phone or a personal device, put it on Do Not Disturb, because the last thing you want is constant text messages or updates from your friends when you're trying to take a test. Find a quiet spot in your home, somewhere you're comfortable, where you have room to kind of set everything out. You will need your e-ticket. There's a checklist that I sent you, that AP sent, that kind of goes through this. They said it's nice to kind of have that nearby to make sure you have everything you need. For the submission for the paper, you need white paper. It can be lined or unlined. It needs to be 8 by 11 or as close to it as possible. It should be labeled, and I'm going to explain that in a second. You want to make sure you have your device, you have your internet connection. Calculator you can use. I would definitely have a calculator. They have said this year that you're not going to have to have a calculator to do anything, but we all know life is easier if you have a calculator. So have that close by, make sure that's charged. And then you can use any notes, any study guides. If they're a disorganized mess, they're not going to help you. So if you want to have questions that you've done previously next to you, if you're doing it on your phone and you want to have your Chromebook up with some of the questions that I went through, you can do that. Some of the resource sheets that I sent out that had formulas and like key information, key ideas, you can have that out. Just make sure it's close and organized. Preparing the pages ahead of time. This is the one thing last night that was the most valuable part of the hour-long webinar. What they recommended to save time if you're going to handwrite is have your papers that you're going to handwrite your answer ready to go and labeled ahead of time, so you don't have to do that. So what they suggest, so every piece of paper you use has to have at the top your AP ID, your initials, and then what page number it is. The most pages you can use, and they said doubtful use as much, is 5 pages per question. So their recommendation was to have 5 pieces of paper per question, and at the top, the AP number, your initials, page 1, and then page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. You do have to write vertically. They don't want a landscape. But if you have those ready to go for both questions, then you can just grab and go, and you're not spending time writing that at top. That to me was actually the valuable part of last night. The format of our exam, and some exams will be different, but a lot of the exams are like this. It's going to be 2 questions. Question 1, you're going to have 25 minutes, followed by a 5-minute upload time. And then question 2, it's 15 minutes, followed by the same 5-minute upload time. There will be a timer on your screen that will tell you how much time you have for the question and how much time you have to upload. You can't start question 2 until all the time and the uploading time is done in question 1, so it all starts at the same time. So you could end up waiting if you upload quickly. The questions have a lot of parts to them. The guy last night kept stressing, do not expect your students to answer everything. They wanted to make sure, since there's very limited questions, that there was a lot of ways that students could show what they know. They described it as having a basket of questions where students could kind of pick and choose. They are a lot of parts. You want to label the parts as you do them and go through. If you're not comfortable with something, try the next piece and keep going. The most that you can get down and show you understand, the better your score. It is not something that you should be getting everything right, and you may not even get a chance to answer all the parts because, again, they kind of put extra stuff in there. When you are doing your work on your paper, make sure you label. So if it's part A, put part A. If it's part B, put part B. If you go to get part C and you're not sure what to do, put part C and then move on and go to part D. Use your calculator to save time. Look at the timer on your screen to help you keep track of time. You don't have to set a timer on your own device. As long as you click the upload before the time expires, you will be fine, even if it takes a while to upload. We all know uploading has been taking forever. They have it set that the moment you start uploading, you're good. You do have to click, there's a submit button, which you'll see when you do the demo. The submit button does need to be hit before the time expires, or else they won't count anything. So you want to make sure, even if you're scrambling to get stuff done, that once you get to the end of the window, you do submit. Don't close out the window at the end until you get a confirmation. It should come up, and again, you should see this on the demo, that they're confirming they got your results, and then you can shut everything down. The college credit policies remain the same. They stress that students are worried that all of a sudden schools aren't going to count these. They had many colleges that have had testimonials saying, yes, we understand it's crazy times, we're still going to count these. They are not going to make the test harder than normal. They don't think it's easier than normal. They're not going to set a certain number of scores, like you can only have so many fives. They're going to keep that based on how students do, not trying to curve it in some way. Your scores are going to come in mid-July, about a week later than normal, just because they have to get the test to people at their homes to grade them, and then they will be available mid-July. So that's what my takeaway. If you have other questions, let me know. Make sure you try the demo. I think that's going to be huge for you, and continue to kind of practice and go through and see how you can do with this. Hope that helps. Hope this kind of explained a little bit and didn't take an hour. I'll see you guys later.